Yo, what is good, fellas? How y'all doing? This is the Hoof Live. Y'all already know what time it is, okay? I'm your host, Sterling. We got some special guests. Eric is out sick. All right, so sounds like he got too trashed after the Bills win on Saturday night. He hadn't recovered yet.
That's right. All right? Yeah.
So he's struggling. He's struggling. He's struggling.
He had to go to work the next day. So.
Hey, you know, to each his own, man. If he wants to be irresponsible, you know, I'm just going to let him do that, right? But we got special guests. We got my man Nate Geary from WGR. What is good? And then we got Champagne Poppy. Will down there from Why So Serious Podcast. What's good, man?
There it is. What's happening with you, man? Hey, I appreciate y'all having me on your show.
Oh yeah. Anytime we can get any of you guys on, man, it's all a blessing, man. Seriously, you know, we got a big Bills community of content creators, you know, and people think that like we're like we don't like each other, like, but we all are like real cool. Like It's not even. It ain't even like gang wars, dude. It ain't even like that around here.
No, except for this dude coming in this group chat and calling me Ron Jeremy. What's up with that?
That's kind of strange.
Hey, no.
A compliment?
Yeah, dude. Hey, that dude is funny as hell, bro. He's giving me all kinds of nicknames, dude. That's my guy. That's my
girlfriend's
guy.
on the couch like that is not Ron Jeremy over there.
That's my dude. Y'all got to get up off him, man. That's the homie right there. But anyway, you know, before we even get started, you know, we got to give some shout outs, man, to people who are already in here rocking with us. We got Rupert Geary. What's good, my man? And you know, hey Zor, you know, that's our guy. You know, he's always talking shit. We love it. Jared Goffrey's in the house, but let's go Buffalo. Smash that thumbs up for sure. Reptile always keeping it real, man. And who invited Ron Jeremy? Well, I did.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, but this is the Hoof Podcast. This is the Hoof Live. This is how we get down. Guys, dude, it's good to have y'all in here tonight, man. And for those of you wondering, y'all already know when the Bills win, I have some wine.
We're a little cup wine, nonetheless.
Hey, but you're drinking the wine out the red cup, though, man. What's up with that, man?
Hey,
COVID rules.
Yeah, dog, you gotta. Hey, I was drinking it straight out the bottle. To people like, why are you drinking it out the bottle? It's like,
okay.
Yeah, that's why I'd have the box wine. I just
but it'll get you out of
yeah, right.
Your hoodie.
That's why I wore pink.
That's right. You got to get down like that. But anyway, man, shall we get into this? So for those of you who have not watched our show, maybe this is your first time. I set up topics beforehand. Our guys do not see it. We kind of put them on the hot seat. This is kind of a debate, kind of we just talk things through kind of show. We do have segments, and tonight's a little different, seeing that we're coming off a big win that we haven't seen in decades. I mean, it's been a long ass time since we won a divisional game.
Right.
We're going to spend a lot of time talking about, you know, where these Bills are going, where we are, and where we're going. So, if you guys are ready for all this, look, we got some Joseph is up in here. Hey, they loving you in here, dog. Look, Lone Wolf. I'd still be married if I had the assets of Ron Jeremy. Damn. Yo, that's classic. That's
a good one.
I don't even know what to do with that. Like, yo, he's that's a good one.
Hey, y'all clowning, man. Y'all clowning.
Hey, that's all we do on this show is like straight clowning. It's all fun, man. It's all fun. All right, so this is what's popping. We kind of go around the league, talk about the latest and the greatest. What's going on in the NFL. I mean, we got limited amount of teams, but there's always stuff to talk about. So this is what's popping. All right, y'all. So first topic. Who will represent the NFC in the Super Bowl? All right, so we got the Bucks and the Packers. Now, I will say this. I hate both equally, okay? I hate the Packers. This is why I hate the Packers. They got too many damn fans. They're everywhere. You can't go anywhere without seeing Packers fans. And are they real Packers fans? Probably not. And they're kind of like Broncos fans out here where they're kind of like pretentious and like, we just win, you know, and they don't understand reality, right? I can't stand the Packers. I hate kind of how they ruined. I feel like they've ruined Aaron Rodgers' potential. Okay, and then you got the Bucs. The Bucs. You really can't be mad at the Bucs, but we can hate Tom Brady, and that's okay, right?
Yes.
And me and Anthony were talking about before the
story. Yeah, this is the thing with me, right? My brothers who are not Bills fans have already started to give me shit like, wow, they're cheering for the Bills now. Don't get me wrong. They're saying, wow, I want the Bills to win. We're cheering for the Bills. My brother, who's a Giants fan, put his little baby daughter in a Bills onesie that they got, and I loved it. But they're both like, what's going to happen here if all of a sudden Tom Brady gets to the Super Bowl, the Bills get to the Super Bowl, and the Bucs win? And I can't even. I told him, I'm like, I will not be okay with that. I will seriously not be okay if that happens, and neither will any of Bills Mafia at that point. Look, if the Bills make it and we lose to the Packers, we made the Super Bowl. We can feel good going into next year that this team is going to get better, that we're going to have a chance next year just as well, and we'll get back at it. But if the Bills lose to the Bucs in the Super Bowl, to Tom Brady again, oh my God, that's a nightmare scenario. That's not even considered. So who am I rooting for in this game? 1,000% I am rooting for the Green Bay Packers. And I don't even care. I know people are like, the better story would be if the Bills beat the Bucs.
Yeah.
Sure, that is the better storyline for sure. That's you want to be able to beat Tom Brady. But I don't even want the chance. I don't even want the 1% chance that Tom Brady could beat the Bills in the Super Bowl. No.
All right, Nate, what you got? Packers. What you got on that, Nate?
Not enough confidence, Anthony. Like, here's what I got to say. I got to say, in the Lord's year of 2020, I know it's 2021 now, but the Bills in the year 2020, getting to this point, I simply can't accept any other result other than the Bills beating Tom Brady. I just it's like the last dragon to be slayed, right? Like we've gotten through all 10 levels of the dungeon. We slayed every other dragon. This is like the 3-headed dragon that's waiting at the finish line, and you ain't getting Cinderella unless you slay that dragon. And I think it would just be the proper story, like it would just be the fitting end to what has been like one of the most magical runs that I've ever been alive for. So I get it though. Losing to Tom Brady, but I'm just not going to even let that thought process creep into my mind. That's scary as hell though. I get
part of what I want
to. Anthony, you can't talk anymore. Hold on. I'm going to mute you. Okay. So we got
Ashley, what's up?
The so pretty Ashley Petty in the house. What's good, Ashley? How are you doing?
Okay, Ashley. Okay.
What's up? Sorry I was a couple minutes late, but I had to do a special video that is coming up from Brother Bill and friends. So
nice.
That's why I was a little late. But
little tease there. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we got a little Tom Petty on the way for you guys. So don't know how great it'll sound, but we did it. So
Okay. Okay.
My opinion on this topic, so I've been talking with a lot of people in the gym. In the gym, you get a very diverse crowd of Bills fans. Yeah. So, to be honest, I almost want to play Tom Brady. It's almost poetic justice that this is what it would come down to in the year of 2020.
Yep,
where
our Lord's year.
See, Tom Brady, you got Rob Gronkowski, too. Don't forget that dirty hit on Tre'Davious White a couple years ago. That's going to come back into play. You got how many storylines? You got Rob Gronkowski being from Buffalo. You got Tom Brady, David and Goliath with Josh Allen. Yeah, there's just so many storylines that could come from this, and I'm so confident in this Bills team now. They're not the same team that they were, when they used to play the Patriots. This is a different defense. We saw them only allow 3 points to the Ravens. I'm just expecting a completely different look on offense from the Chiefs game that we saw earlier I'm sorry, I went into a totally different topic. But I'm just excited for
Ashley, I think we could agree. I think we can all agree that this version, the about to be collecting AARP version of Tom Brady, is one that I'm willing to take a chance with. I'm going to tell you that the Tom Brady we saw against New England, or not New England, against New Orleans, was not good. He really didn't deserve to win. It was Drew Brees that lost that game, not Tom Brady that won it. So,
correct.
I think, in my opinion, I think the Green Bay Packers are the best team right now.
Yeah,
outside the Bills, I think I think the Bills and Green Bay Packers are the two best teams.
Outside of the storyline, I'd be picking the Packers in this game, too. I think Tampa Bay, like you said, they got lucky against the Saints, who kind of beat themselves and weren't playing to their strengths, and they played the easiest team to ever make the playoffs in the first round. So they're not really – they certainly haven't had to play teams like Indy and Baltimore to get
No, that's true. That's true. I want to hear –
respect on Tyler Heineke's name, though.
You better put some respect on that man's name. Hey, I want to hear from Champagne Poppy, though. Champagne Poppy
Oh, my
will.
God, naughty Champagne Poppy.
I'm thinking, man, hey, listen. I'm right on board with Ashley. This would be poetic justice, man. It's been a crazy year, but for me, man, I've been watching this thing, man, with Tom Brady since all of my friends was playing back with Nate Clemens and Emos and everybody else, man. We've been getting beat up by this dude for a decade, and I hate that he escaped New England before we got this good to crush him in New England. Yeah. So even though we swept the season with them, it didn't feel the same for me. I mean, it looks good on paper that we beat New England twice, but I don't feel as good because it wasn't Tom. I want to play Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. I do not think that team will beat us in the Super Bowl. I think that, Green Bay is more poised to beat us than Tampa Bay would be. I mean, they got weapons. They got Tom Brady, but Tom Brady's the statue back there, man, that I think we can keep on his back. I think that, we put some pressure on him. His age will start to show. And I think that we can win that Super Bowl over them. So, yeah, I actually hope that we end up playing Tom Brady and company. Unfortunately, I don't believe they're going to get past Green Bay. I think that no matter what I just said, I think that Green Bay will beat them in this game coming up.
Yeah.
They're just too strong, man. Aaron Rodgers is slinging that thing all over the place, and they're just looking real sharp on all cylinders. Tom Brady and them, they squeaked by a few games. They got blew out a few games, so they showed a lot of weaknesses that I think that Green Bay will exploit.
Okay, Champagne Poppy. Down there spitting facts, my G.
So that's one thing, the title I wanted to have.
He down there acting like he drinking coffee, but y'all know he ain't drinking no coffee.
You should have seen the cup he had last week.
You got some right
here. That's what I do. I mean, look, man.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
I got this the cup I had last.
It says loaded.
That's you know what I'm saying? Wait, I mean, that's how we do it in Buffalo, baby, when we winning.
Yep. Wait. Who made that for you?
That's bedazzled.
I went to a
how do you get that?
I went to a 70s party in a pimp cup. Huh?
That's definitely a pimp cup.
Yo, man, don't be trying to bite. Listen, don't be trying to bite on my stuff so you can drink your wine out of a cup like this, man.
I'm a little mad that you're not even wearing white gloves holding that damn goblet. You should be having white gloves on, dude. Where the white gloves at? And the pinky's up. Pinky's up, dude. Like, he got a goblet down there. God dang, Game of Thrones.
When I really sport the joint, though, I had on a whole pimp cape with the rings and the necklaces. Oh, come on, man. I know how to do it when I go to a 70s disco party.
Hey, I swear to God, dude, and this is not a lie. My uncle was a pimp in Philly. Dude will wear the glove. I mean, he had the cane. Talk about smacking bitches. I swear to the Jesus.
Charlie Murphy shit. I like that.
Yeah, Charlie Murphy, like, I'm going to slap you. Like, where's my money? Champagne Poppy, it's so good to have you on. So, all right, so let's bring it back in. Let's bring it back in. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with what you guys are saying. Although I would like to see the Packers, honestly. I think, it's one of those things where you could beat the best team in the NFL. And I don't think the Bucs are going to win the game, obviously. But beating Rodgers, man, I mean, how many every time the Bills score, I'm doing a discount double check every single time, bro. Every time.
It would be the crazy thing to me too. And if the Bills end up getting this to this point, right, and they end up finding a way to beat the Packers, and let's say that's what ends up happening, but to go through Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. And Phil Rivers did amazing in the playoffs with it.
I mean, that would be and I was watching, I think it was maybe NFL Network, they were talking about, does Josh Allen need to win a what does Josh Allen have to do to be considered a true superstar, not just a star? Because he's a star, but to be a superstar. Oh, wow.
That was the best segue ever.
Oh, I didn't. Can you guys tell I'm in radio?
Yeah.
Transition here. Look at that.
Man. Man.
Well, okay, so let's hear your thoughts on this. Okay, so Nate has to leave in 20 minutes, so which is totally not cool, but whatever. So Nate, we're gonna start with you.
All right,
Anthony, we'll go with you next. We'll end with you, Ashley. Is Josh Allen a superstar? Like, is he a superstar right now? And if you think he's not, what more do you think that he has to prove? And then after Ashley, we got Champagne Poppy, who's his feed is going in and out. We'll get him in. He'll comment. You'll go last on this question here, Champagne Poppy. So let's go ahead and go.
I'm back, man. I'm back. Look, I'm back.
All right. So let me get this thought process out. All right. So here's what I think. I think that in order for me to really consider Josh Allen a superstar, I want to see him go up against a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, and I want to see him outduel Patrick Mahomes. I don't want to see like a 17-10 or a 21-20 kind of defensive battle. I want to see him go out pound for pound, be the better quarterback in a game against the MVP, the league reigning MVP. So for me, I don't need a Super Bowl win. But I do need like a signature moment. And I will say this, I don't count wins as like a way to judge quarterbacks. I just don't think that like me saying that for Josh Allen to be a superstar, he needs to win a Super Bowl, because it's a team game. It's a team sport. And if you don't believe me, just look at last week's game. That is the epitome. It's everything you could ask for in a team win. Is when your offense is playing a defense as good as the Ravens, you need to have that ability as a team to adapt and win in other ways than you're normally winning. And I think for the Bills, being a great team towards the end of the season, winning by 30 plus points, you're thinking the Bills are going to walk into the playoffs and do the same thing. And it's a different level. The people, they're gripping they're gripping the ball tighter. And there's just a different level of competition when you get to this time of year. And I think for the most part, guys, we're just not used to what it takes to win this time of year, because we've never seen a team do it. So, for me, I think it goes down to, I don't think he needs to win a Super Bowl, but he's got to have the signature moment. I think he has the opportunity on Sunday night to have that signature moment.
Okay. I like that. I think you're right.
If I can, real quick, man. Hey, listen, when you look at Josh Allen, that's the thing. You have to look at the growth pattern of Josh Allen. So people crown him, as a superstar, and they got all these big things going around Josh. Josh is having a phenomenal year with a hell of a supporting cast, a wide receivers, coaches, to defense, finally stepping up, balling a little bit.
Getting Dable back, man.
The run, but still balling out. Yeah, get Dable back. But I think that, you can't really – Josh solidified himself as a hell of a ball player, an up-and-coming star. You can't crown a guy after one season, but beating these two quarterbacks in the end will help his legacy a little bit. But I think he's got a long way to go before you put him in that super elite class.
So I'm going to kind of combine those 2 points into this. Yes, to me, Josh Allen is already a superstar. Why? Because he's done something we have never seen any quarterback in the NFL ever do, and that is constantly improve and take giant leaps year after year after year. His first year was not pretty, but you know what? It took him an offseason. He got a hell of a lot better. And then people said he's already reached his ceiling. He'll never be able to do this. He'll never be able to do that. And I kept saying, if you go back to this guy's college tape, to his high school tape, he's done nothing but improve every step of the way. And now he's at the point where he's in the MVP conversation. And if Aaron Rodgers wasn't in the league this year, he'd be hands down the MVP of the league. Yeah. So has he reached that superstar? For me personally, yes. But what does he have to do to claim his right as a superstar? What does it take? Well, if we take an example of Patrick Mahomes, what happened with him? He came on the scene. He did well. Yeah, we've seen quarterbacks do that before. But what did he do differently? His next year, he won the MVP. His next year after that, he won the Super Bowl. And now he's hands down, everybody would say, the best quarterback in the NFL. For me, what Josh Allen needs to do, I wouldn't put him in the class of you need to win a Super Bowl. I'd like to see him start, and he has done this year already, really, is make those statement wins where people are counting him out and saying the other guy is always better, right? Even in this postseason, all we heard last week was Lamar. Yeah. Lamar got his ass kicked. Josh Allen did not, against what was statistically a better defense. So, I mean, clearly we played better in that game. But so same thing in the game before with Phillip Rivers and all the games against, all the signature wins this year. But for me, next year is going to be the absolute key. Now you've done it. But are you going to be Lamar Jackson and then take it back? You're second year. I just want
to get this straight. It sounds like Anthony is saying that superstar status can't necessarily be confirmed this year, right?
Yes, you got to come back and do it again and show this is really who you are, and you're not one of those.
I think that's probably right.
And that's I agree
that's
with
basically
that
what I was saying. Yeah.
Hold on, guys. Hold up, real quick. Hold on, Ashley. Not to cut you guys off, but my man Nate has to go, and I want Nate to give an opportunity to let everybody know how our fans can follow Nate and keep up with what he's doing. Okay.
So you can follow me. Thanks, bro. I appreciate you. You can follow me on Twitter at Nate Geary Sports. Just came out with my my latest column for this week in the lead up to the game. You can check out at WGR550.com. Otherwise, my normal weekly breakdowns right before you guys. So I'm happy that I finally made my appearance on your guys' podcast. You guys do great work. So have me on anytime, man. I'm available.
So listen, you're gonna have me on WGR on one of them Saturday gigs, bro. Okay,
we can do that
because they need chocolate thunder.
Like Petty's first, though.
They need the chocolate thunder.
Okay. Well, listen, I'll tell you this. Next year, training camp, if we're all back, we'll do a live spot.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Straight up.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right, man. You enjoy yourself, dude. Salute to you,
thanks,
man.
Hey, thanks for
Go Bills. Be safe.
Go Bills, baby. Big week.
All right, so Miss Ashley, we got you up. Give me your thoughts.
All right. Well, everybody kind of already took my points because, there's only so many to be made. But I definitely have to agree with Anthony. I think they need we need another year from Josh Allen like this one to prove that he is indeed that superstar because, he's still in MVP conversation. Of course, Aaron Rodgers is probably going to take it. But
for sure,
to be honest, to see, like he said, to see just the improvement over the 3 years to, finally – the consistency around him helped him become the player that he was with the offensive line, with the coaching, with, all the players. It just, that consistency really helped him out and become the quarterback that he is this year. And then you see that success finally translate that this franchise has been looking for the last 3 or 4 years with Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane. So I honestly am in the same boat. I don't think he needs to win a Super Bowl to do it. But even if he takes that, he already took him to the AFC Championship, and they haven't done that in 27 years. So we got to take that into consideration. That's a big deal for this franchise, period. And I'm just excited to see where he takes us in the future. I think we could consider him superstar status, so to speak. If we see, another 10-6 or above record next year, and you see him taking us, into at least the divisional or AFC championship next year too. But I think he's become sort of a media darling this year.
Let me address
He's the Cinderella story of this year. He's taken a team that's been horrible for years and finally put them on a pedestal.
So I want to address this comment right here first, because somebody's saying, well, it's now for Josh. He has to win the Super Bowl. Agreed. I'm not saying he can't win the Super Bowl. Trust me, I'm picking him to win the damn Super Bowl. But I'm saying that winning a Super Bowl is something that does not put you in superstar status. It does for us as Bills fans and as Buffalo, but not in the NFL. Right. How many quarterbacks can we list that were garbage quarterbacks that ended up winning a Super Bowl? Or, just mediocre guy, Trent Dilfer, the classic Ravens defense and all that, right? It's not winning a Super Bowl that's the stat. Will that make him a king in Buffalo forever, regardless of what happens? 100%. If he ever plays another snap, absolutely. But will that make him a superstar in the NFL? No. He has to prove that he can stay at this level. But to my point earlier, there's nothing factually, the data, everything he's presented shows that he has constantly gotten better every step of the way, and there's nothing to say that he's suddenly going to peak even. All of the stuff says he's only going to continue to get better, and that is a scary thought for the rest of the NFL and a great thought for Bills fans.
No, it is. And,
that's exactly what I was saying, man. Josh is a big work in progress. Josh is a huge work in progress. He is a star for sure. The boy's balling out of control right now, but you can't listen to general Bills fans, because general Bills fans, they love anybody that's helping us win. If you put them on their back, man, they're cheering left and right. As soon as you fall off, though, they're going to have problems. But Josh is not at that level yet where you can put him, maybe MVP of this season, but are you going to say he's going to be this way for 5 years? You don't know, because every year he's improving, every year he's getting better. But if you take away a couple of his keys, can he still be that productive? Can he still be that superstar that adapts to adversity in the future? That's what it is. Right now, he's got a supporting cast, a hell of a play calling coach, and all the weapons you need.
Let me disagree with you on that, and I'll tell you why. Because what Josh Allen has, and in my opinion, a lot of quarterbacks don't have, is those intangibles. Like when you have that chip on your shoulder, we're talking about a guy who didn't have any college D1 offers. I mean, this guy has worked his ass off for everything that he gets. So he's not one of those guys who's going to come in and think he's arrived ever, because the national media and everybody's always talking shit about Josh Allen. It's like a thing. That's why there was a website on the pre-draft was joshAllenSucks.com. Okay, that was a real thing, And so when I think of Josh Allen, the superstar, I think of what makes a superstar? And Nate Geary mentioned it. It's a signature moment, right? And we need Josh Allen to have that signature moment, and for you to be able to knock the king off, which is Patrick Mahomes.
Yes,
that is, to me, that's a signature moment in Kansas City.
Yes.
Okay, they're going to have 17,000 fans in there. They're loud. You talk about Buffalo with 6,700. It's going to be loud in there for
and they're known for that.
And it's a big deal. Go ahead, Ashley. You got something to say?
But I'm nervous that this week they're going to say, well, Patrick Mahomes' toe is injured.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the concussion.
That's exactly
so
right.
Technically, even if he wins, it wasn't actually like.
And I was
Josh Allen can have a 158.3 quarterback rating, and they're still going to say
they're still going to die. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, there's the haters that will always be haters out there. Look at ESPN. They will never give the Bills credit. What was their headline after this game? How did Lamar Jackson and Baltimore lose this game? Does Lamar Jackson deserve to lose? They didn't lose shit. They got beat. The Bills won this game. They dominated them.
Balled out.
Beat down. They got beat down.
And to that same point, Mafia Mom, what's up, Mafia Mom? She's saying here, but Mahomes has a supporting cast, and that doesn't take away from his status. You're right. They've never said this about Mahomes. Why? Because they were high on Mahomes coming out of the draft, because Mahomes was supposed to be great coming out of the draft. That's why he was drafted where he was. Because he came on, not necessarily in the draft, but he came onto the scene. But he's always had a great coach. He's always had a great weapons around him and been able to excel at that. Nobody's ever questioned his integrity because he's them, and that's
he walked
just
down
unfair.
to a 10-16. He was the last piece of the
puzzle. He walked into a golden picture, though. He walked into a great coaching system, great receiver. It's different.
Yes.
Josh walked into a mess. We didn't have any scoring ability, half wide receivers. I mean, that's exactly it.
True.
I mean, and adversity. And you remember from day one, Josh walked in with adversity with the whole comments he made way back in the day. I mean, half the city, not sure if they even like the guy. Then he steps on the field and he's doing rookie things, that happen. So yeah, he did do that.
You can ask Eric. I was like, bro, this dude. I ain't trying to get no good old boy in here, quarterback for the Bills.
Right, exactly.
I remember many of us wanting Josh Rosen over Josh Allen.
Yeah,
I was one of those people. I'm not going to lie. I wanted Baker Mayfield, then I wanted Sam Darnold, then I wanted Josh Rosen, then I wanted Josh Allen.
See, I figured you would say that, Ashley, because you want that sunshine white boy looking dude just come up in there, just mix the hair.
They ain't even on that committee, dog. They ain't even on that committee.
Not even. I just like his spunky personality and the fact that he wouldn't be afraid to stick it to another team. But I'll tell you, Josh Allen has done the same exact thing.
I mean, I'm on record.
In a tasteful, classy way.
I'm on record as a Baker hater.
Girl, I'm just messing with you, Ashley.
I'm on record as a Baker hater, but anybody who liked Josh Rosen coming in, I don't understand what you were watching, because I was just like, I still say it. The guy has zero personality. I didn't like the way he played the game. I'm like, he talks and he's just like, and I'm like, what is it? I don't want this guy score. If I had my pick, I was probably on the Sam Darnold train if I could have any of them. Once the Jets traded above us, I knew we weren't going to get Sam Darnold, so I was like, well, we'll see what happens now. It is what it is.
It is what it is, right?
It is what it is.
Hey, listen, y'all can't be hating on Josh Rosen because y'all didn't have a hot tub in y'all's dorm room, okay? A guy had a hot tub in his dorm room. Yeah, he did. He did. So don't act like y'all wouldn't get in it. Y'all asses would get in it if y'all were in UCLA, because I totally would have got in it.
I'd take the hardworking farm boy over the spoiled rich kid from California any day.
So. Hell no. As a black kid, put me around them rich white boys. You already know. I'm eating good. I'm not your star. Your mama gonna love me. So it's all over again.
You're in the NFL trying to win, going up against these guys.
Your mama might really love me.
Hey, I know she might put raisins in the potato salad, but I might eat it. Oh, anyway. Here we go. Another one. Dable is staying another year. So with this, that deserves a clapping it up moment, because we were all on pins and needles, just hoping that Brian Dable will not get a job. You know, there was propaganda out there from paparazzi saying that Brian Dable is a complete wasted drunk, lines of crack every day.
Oh yeah.
But I'll go
thing going on where you.
But I'll go through the wide receiver room.
Things.
Right.
Like Brian Dable doesn't return his shopping cart to the cart corral.
You don't.
The wide receiver room started all that. They're like, Brian who? Yeah, oh no, I don't know that guy. No, don't say nothing about him. Don't hire him. He's trash, man.
The ultimate shade, though. The ultimate shade is with the Eagles. He was like, you know what?
I don't want you.
I ain't going over there. Y'all crazy? He's the best thing. He ain't going to the Eagles.
But Leslie Frazier still is in talks. So we're not out of the woods.
For Houston, yeah.
Hey, I like Leslie, but you can go, dog. Sean McDermott's the mastermind of the defense. Like
that's true.
I agree.
You know,
but there's something to be said. What I'll give Leslie Frazier credit for, what he was important for when he was first hired, was the fact that he was a head coach. And he was, he is entitled now, the assistant head coach, but he was the guy who taught, our coach, McDermott, to be a head coach, because he's been there doing that, right? And yes, we know McDermott's the one who's in charge of the defense, and Leslie Frazier, don't get me wrong, great defensive mind, great coach, great leader of men. If you've ever heard him speak or anything, man, I want to play for that guy, right? He's just an awesome dude. But yeah, his role as the mentor on field in real time to McDermott is totally understated in the fact that he was a head coach, and that's probably why McDermott wanted him on the staff. That, and obviously he's a good defensive coach. But yeah, I think he deserves another shot as a head coach somewhere. I just hope it's not Houston, because that's a dumpster fire right now, and it's not going to work out well for him, at least not short term.
I'll tell you what, Deshaun Watson out
if there's a perfect place for him to go, it is Houston, because he is a leader of men. I mean, the guy, he's a supreme leader, and they could really use someone. And I'm not, look, race isn't everything, but you're talking about Houston that's predominantly African American. You got your quarterback who is very active in the community. It would be great for them to hire a guy like Leslie Frazier.
And they've spoken up about these issues.
Yeah, right. And it's real down there. It's real down there. So, it would be great. I think the owner, he's gotten a bad rap. Texas alone, right? And then the fact, the stuff that he's said and done over the years, it hasn't sat well with players. So I think it's one of those times where he needs to listen to the body of his team, really listen to what they want and need. I think that's the best course of action right now. So I think Leslie Frazier will be a great candidate for Houston. I wouldn't want to see him go, but if he had to leave, man, by all means, dude, just go.
But Brian Dable being the piece, the biggest story, all of us, right? All of us podcasters and all of us who think about the Bills and make content, Bills content, our biggest offseason story was going to be, what's the offense going to be without Brian Dable? And most of us, it was almost 100% guaranteed he was going to get a job somewhere. And it was, even at the beginning of the season, there was probably 20% chance of him coming back. And most of us said, he's going to get a head coaching job, this guy. We got lucky.
Yeah. Hey, you want to know something? When you look at that was the big controversy. Hey, Anthony, that was a big controversy everywhere about was he going to stay, was he going to go? But you have to look at power teams. So look at New England all those years. Look at Belichick, Brady. Look at, what they built and what they ran, right? We all know the story with the team that we all learned to hate. But the truth of the matter is this. You could have just had a great coach with great players with great football intellect, because that's what happened there. Tom Brady basically became a coach, as part of the staff, doing his own thing. That Jim Kelly did it for the Bills back when they were hot. So where a player lands on a team and where the coaching staff allows the player the flexibility to be professional and to have their input also creates the legacy of great coaches. So Leslie Frazier going down to Houston, if he goes to Houston, he will fit in great there because of the culture of Houston, Deshaun Jackson. I mean, Watson. You look at the way that Watson is in that community down there. He's active. He's busy, and I think that that's a good fit for him and his mentality and the way that he verbalizes his coaching. I think that he will fit.
To your point, he can say, "Look, I've been there, done that with the Bills. I was around this. I was part of this. I was, pushing this. We turned that whole city around. We turned that whole culture around. We turned the dumpster fire that was the Buffalo Bills team into a contender who's there every year now. And that's, something to be to his record now.
Yeah, it's a brilliant move. I think, when you are a young coach, this will be, if he were to get the opportunity, this will be a second stint as a head coach. I think who you hire around you is definitely important, because if you hire grinders and guys who are student of the game, but also leaders of men, I think those things are important. And you have to have the right staff. Like as Bills fans, we all know, like Rex Ryan and the staff that he brought in, it was rough. It was rough.
Rob Ryan, oh dear God!
It's like having a substitute teacher every day. Like, don't nobody give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're eating ice cream all day.
Yep.
He was amazing. Rex Ryan just booted him out the door because they didn't agree on the defensive schemes, and it was horrible because that was one of the times our defenses was at its best.
Yeah,
we had, what was it? I want to say we were top of the league in sacks that year. Mario Williams, Marcel Darius,
right?
Hughes,
but we couldn't stop the run.
Yes,
no.
People run all over our ass. I was like, but we can sack quarterback all day. But shit, if you want to run, hey, that's 50 yards that you go.
As soon as they got outside that tackle, they were to the crib.
Hey, y'all remember this though? Y'all remember this? Like, dudes didn't know what play was being called. Like, they didn't even know who was supposed to be on the field in different formations. It was that bad. Like, the lack of communication, organization that guy had. Discipline was not there.
To the point of turning around this Bills team into the most disciplined and, the most well-coached probably team in the league, playing up to their guys now. Brian Daboll had a choice. He didn't get a job this time. I think a lot of that had to do with the Bills' playoff run right now and just the timing of it. He probably, was reported to be in line to get that job in Los Angeles with the Chargers. He should have been a contender there, but we're still on this run. And the guy who got hired, guess what? He's no longer in the playoffs. So it was easier for them to hire this guy and get started now than wait for Brian Daboll to be done coaching the Bills. And Brian Daboll's going to have his choice, right? So he might have made the conscious choice and said, you know what? I don't like the looks of these situations where if he might have, like he did with the Eagles job, allegedly said, no, thank you, I'm not interested, and said, I'm just going to hold out till next year when I'm even bigger head coach candidate.
And that's what I was going to say, because it's a blessing in disguise that he turned down all these other jobs, like the fact that we just keep going and all these other guys were kind of sitting on the bench waiting to get their number called, and they did. And now, there's only 2 head coaching jobs left, and it's looking like he's not really trying to go into either of those situations. And he should have his pick of the litter because he deserves it. He's earned it. Yes. But I had a feeling if he didn't get that Chargers job, he wasn't going to go anywhere else because he's from Fredonia. I'm pretty sure. Was it Fredonia or West something around here? I know he's from Western New York, but he's got the perfect situation. Josh Allen is absolutely blown up and has been absolutely incredible. The play calling has been fantastic this year for the most part. So why would he want to leave a situation where he's happy and he could win a ring in?
Yep, because there's only 32 of these NFL head coaches.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, as much as we want to tie to Buffalo, it's great and awesome. That bag he's going to get and the opportunity. Right. Listen to this. Talk about a guy who's coached under Nick Saban. He's coached under some of the most legendary coaches and had success. He's learned so much. He's learned how to build a culture with Sean McDermott. Like, he is prime candidate. Look, I have no sources on this. I think it's a personality problem. I don't think he has a winning personality where he just takes over a room. I think that's probably why he's not getting the
Agreed.
I talked about that last week when we were talking about head coaching vacancies and stuff, just that there is the idea that you interview candidates, and if somebody blows you away, regardless of if they're a good coach or not, like Rex Ryan was the example I used, right? Because he obviously blew away, his interviews, and they were like, oh, we love this guy because he's charismatic, because he knows what to say, because he brings the energy. But when it came to coaching, he didn't get the job done, so they had to fire him, right? And I think that's what happens. There is something to be said. I can't say that Daboll doesn't interview well.
Well,
but maybe.
It's not as simple as that math, though. It's not as simple as the math of, you brought Rex Ryan in, he didn't get the job done, and any other coach before that. Because, like, on our podcast, we were talking about it a few weeks ago, and I always talk about it because, like I said, alluding back to my friends, like, I was literally Emo's best friend, Lee Evans' wedding. I mean, I'm good friends with a lot of the older guys that have played back then. The point I'm making is, listen, the point is this, man. Back then, the Buffalo Bills were not even trying to build a legacy. They literally were treading water just to try to sell a damn team. I mean, they were not trying to build what they're trying to build now. We've had so many elite players that have had offers to come to Buffalo back then when we were on the cusp player-wise, where we could have had some players maybe making some playoff runs, and they wouldn't come here because they knew the organization wasn't about winning. Now we can attract anybody that's elite to Buffalo. They'll come here, they'll play. They'll come here, they'll coach because they know that we have owners that are trying to build something in Buffalo to win these ball games. And look where we are now: playoff, potential Super Bowl. It's a different mentality in Buffalo.
Albert, listen to that, man, because he's on to something. Look, if you talk about free agency, now that the Bills have a legitimate quarterback, I mean, you have a dog, like somebody who like he embodies like the culture, like Buffalo, like blue collar. We're gonna get it done. You can't stop us. Like that is attractive. That's why him and Stephon Diggs are so tight. I mean, it just kindred spirits, man. And the fact that you just mentioned that free agents are going to want to flock to Buffalo. We are no longer Siberia, the place where wide receivers go to die. Like, you can come here and be the best version of yourself, not only off the field, but on the field.
Yeah.
And you're going to get a ring. Like, who doesn't want that?
Right.
People are going to take discounts.
Exactly.
Y'all remember how
100%.
come around and we would look at the Patriots like, oh, shit, they're going to sign, Belichick's coming out the damn, the Steve Austin music, right? That's what it's going to be like with the Bills now because people are going to – he has an attractive winning personality and people want to be like a part of a mission, right? That's what it is. That's what it is.
They want to be a part – hey, man, they want to be a part of what they've been jealous about all these years. With Buffalo's fan base being the best fan base in the globe. I mean, we definitely have that, right? We were the best fan base, even when we lost every damn game. So now that we're winning, that fan base is going to be better. You have an organization that's trying to win. I mean, who is not going to want to come and play here?
We showed up and you saw Stephon Diggs playing catch with those guys, the wild card week.
Yeah.
He's out there throwing the ball to fans way before the game.
Yeah, that's cool.
You can tell he wanted to meet the mafia.
Yes.
He wanted to see the table jumping, even though that's not what we embody. He wanted to see the craziness, the yelling. And even last week, I was at the game. Our hands were red. I had bruises on my hands, and they were swollen from pounding on the bleachers. Like, I might have a voice, but I'll tell you what, we were kicking the bleachers, we were hitting them, we were going crazy.
And Baltimore said it worked. They're like, man, those fans were crazy. 6,700 sounded like 67,000.
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
Did y'all, okay.
These players want to be around. They want that fan base. Could you imagine if we had everybody in there? You would hear that in New York City. Come on.
Let's go.
Okay, so Ashley, and I'm going to let you start off with this one, okay? This is our Hoof or Bun segment, so we'll go with Ashley. Anthony, we'll go to you. My guy, Champagne Poppy on the bottom, who's slaying it tonight. We're going to go with you, okay? Hoof or Buns is our most valuable player, and Buns is our least valuable player. It could be from any team, any game that you want to bring up. So the fact that, and I'll start off with this, I'm not going to give you who my MVP is, okay? Because my opinion doesn't really matter because I really want to hear what y'all got to say. But Ashley, walk our fans through the moment Taron Johnson picked that ball off. Tell me. Okay, so I want to know like how you were feeling on that drive when they got that first down on third. Was it 3rd and 14? Lamar Jackson 3rd and 13, and Lamar Jackson got a 15-yard run. And walk me through that point. Like what was going? Like give me like the aura in the stadium. Like what did you see?
What angle? Like
so to be honest, that entire game, first quarter through fourth quarter, when we were on defense, we did not stop. We did not let up. We kept being loud, cheering, pounding, doing whatever we could to be as loud as we could and get this team this W. So we're watching this happen and we're getting a little discouraged, obviously. But I was actually sitting behind the end zone where Taron Johnson picked it off. And I'll tell you what, the minute that happened and we saw him catch the ball, I had a headache from yelling. I yelled louder and louder as that man ran down the field. Every 10 yards, I just got a little louder. And by the time we got to the end zone, we were all so exhausted. We're like leaning over, just like ready to pass out because we're so excited. We didn't know what to do. I was almost in tears. I'm hugging people I don't know. Like, it was one of the most, I would have to say, I've been season tickets for 6 or 7 years, and I've been going to games for about 10. I mean, since I was a kid, but regularly going to games for about 10 years. And I'll tell you what, that was one of my top 3. Absolutely. It has to be the best moment in the stadium I've ever experienced.
One of the best moments in Bills history right there.
Seriously.
Sure. And it was
just
watching
because we even heard Taron Johnson say, he's like, I wasn't sure if I was going to run that one out. He's like, I almost thought about kneeling.
He did. But I was yelling at him to kneel it. I'm like, what are you bringing it out for? Don't bring it out. And he brought it out and ran. But watching it on TV, I don't know if you've seen the replay, probably, but the angle on the TV, it looked like he threw a touchdown pass. It really looked like Lamar threw a touchdown. And I was like, what happened? And then from another angle, I've said this to a few people. The Bills were wearing their blue tops and their white pants, and the end zone is blue and white. So when he threw that pass from the front angle, you literally could not see Taron Johnson. I honestly think that Lamar threw that not seeing Taron Johnson there at all, which is his mistake. But, oh, my God, what a play by Taron Johnson.
100%. And he totally cut the route. It was incredible.
Yeah.
He said something about him trying to follow the tight end, or he saw the tight end do something else, so he undercut it. And it was just perfect timing on Taron's part. And I'll tell you what, he was the spy on Lamar Jackson at practice. He was the spy the whole week. So he did his job extremely well, and you love to see this team just have players each week, different players each week, step up and do their job. And that's exactly what
my reaction to that play was. I literally froze. And this doesn't happen to me often, as people who watch this show will know. I got a lot to say and a lot of reaction. I'm a very outgoing guy, as you could say. But I literally froze. I could not believe it was happening before my eyes. I froze. I stared. Everybody's screaming around me, and I just was like, am I dreaming? Did this really happen?
Yes.
It took me like 5 minutes before I even celebrated because I was just frozen in front of the screen watching. Like, it happened. We did this. Oh, my God.
Right.
It was an incredible moment for sure.
All right, Champagne. He done eating grapes, y'all.
Yo, man, it's the cheese, man.
What's the wild part?
Cheese on y'all.
He got a charcuterie report over there.
Why not?
God, hey, what were your thoughts on that drive, man? What were your thoughts
on that play? Listen, man. Yeah. My whole mentality going into this game was anger. Like, I really just felt so aggressive. Like, I wanted to hit somebody, even just slap the hell out of them. So I was praying our defense did that to Lamar the whole game, which we did. We got after those boys quick, hard, and early. On that particular play, man, when he picked that ball, to me, it was the game changer. To me, it solidified the fact it was like a punch in the mouth, man. Like, we can beat y'all. Like, y'all think y'all can come into this stadium and take this game like half the country predicted you crazy. So when he ran that ball back the whole time, my fist was like this. That's what I'm talking about. All kind of swear words, punching my cousin. You know, like, this is what I'm talking about, man. We can beat these boys. We about to beat them and handle this game. And we did it the whole game. You know, Lamar got hurt, true enough. You know, hey, you can't listen, everybody's like, oh, Lamar got hurt. That's what, you crazy, man. You saw Lamar back there.
No.
And on our podcast last week, I told them, I said, look, man, I was worried about Lamar's rushing because, you know, Buffalo, we do have a little soft spot back there when he get past the tackles. But I said, if you can make that boy throw, we can pick that ball. So when I saw that interception, that's exactly what I said on our show last week. If you make him throw that ball, you got about a 70% chance of interception because he literally just throws that ball in the vicinity of receivers. And we are ball hawks that should be able to go get that ball.
Yeah, no, and you know what? The underrated thing that people need to really take hold of is that, you know, Leslie Frazier calling that soft cover 2 zone. in that situation. That was a perfect play at the perfect time, because what it did is, you had Poyer and Hyde covering the back end, right? So anything that was coming to Andrews or Brown, they was their job and responsibility with Trey White, whoever, whatever side they lined up on. I think it was on the left side, so it probably been Levi Wallace. It was their job to cover that. So Taryn and he said it with Colin Kaiir, he said, watching film, he recognized tendencies. And for a young player, that is what you want to hear, that a young player is watching enough film to where he starts to recognize tendencies. Mm-hmm. That goes to your coaching staff. For one. Leslie Frazier and Sean McDermott did a hell of a job calling that defense the whole game. But in that particular moment, not that they knew that it was going to be an interception, pick six, but putting their players in the best position to make a play. Now, Taron Johnson, where he excelled was watching film, watching the damn film. That he left his assignment, right? And he went over and intercepted the ball. That's a playmaker. And we know that's the second pick six of the season because the guy is becoming a student of the game. And that's what you have to, that's between being good to great. Those are the things that you have to do. If you want to be a Super Bowl team, you got to show the characteristics of being good and great. And that's what they did right there. So I was excited. I was like Anthony, I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like,
did that happen?
I couldn't believe it. Like, hey, and I watched the game by myself. Dude, I was straight flexing. Like, hey, dude, I was in here like yelling and screaming, like excited. My phone's going off. Like everybody's like, "Oh my god!" Nobody thought the Bills were gonna win, right? Nobody thought the Bills were gonna win. So it was a great moment, man. It's one of those things I'll never forget in my life. I just hope that I want to see more moments like that. I want to see Josh Allen just straight eviscerate the damn Chiefs on Sunday.
Absolutely.
Like I want to see Josh Allen coming of age. Signature moment where everybody I want it to be, and I'm totally serious. I want it to be where no one can say Josh Allen ain't that dude.
But you know what they're going to say. If
of course they still will.
What Ashley said earlier.
He's still going to be playing against that defense, though. So he should be able to still be assertive. So it doesn't matter what they say.
Josh Allen will shred that defense.
Right, that's what I mean. He'll spread that out. He'll take whatever they give us, man, and exploit them. I don't care about the comparison of, hey, Mahomes might not be 100% or he might not play. I don't want to hear it. Less.
Ain't nobody 100% right now.
Defense. I want to eat that defense up.
Straight up, all day. Hey, you know what's funny though right now? Because we got Chiefs fans in here talking shit in the chat, and I ain't even putting that up there. We ain't even. It's like they want to. Look,
what do you the Ravens fans and where are they now?
Sharon, thank you for watching the show. And the fact that your Chiefs don't have as cool a media doing podcasts like this, okay? They're not as cool as good and cool as we are doing what we do. So you coming over here and watching us, poor little Bills fans from Western New York, and we're in Denver, and they're in New York. That's how we get down. So thank you for coming and watching the show. But, hey, your Chiefs are going down, so, you can go on and put whatever you want, be a Twitter champ or whatever you want to do in there in the chat room. It's all good. It's all love, but your Chiefs are going down, and I hope Mahomes play. I really do hope that he plays. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so Hoof or Buns. So, but you cannot pick Taron Johnson, and you cannot say the defense as a whole.
Well, then what was I supposed to say? Because that was my guy.
Because that's like being in Sunday school and be like, the answer is Jesus. Like, duh, we know. Like, give me something else. Give me something else. Ashley, we're gonna start with you because you're looking like, oh my god, I don't know.
I really don't know who to pick.
You better come up with something. You better come up with something. Come on, get it out.
You know what? All right, I'll go with Jerry Hughes, and I'll tell you why. Yeah. Jerry Hughes wreaked havoc on this offensive line. He put Lamar under so much pressure and just absolutely had himself a game. He had that sack, which was great, but the pressure is what was most important here. He made Lamar be a quarterback, and that is what we needed to do to win the game. That is why this team only scored 3 points the whole entire game. So I'm going to go with Jerry Hughes. Now, do you want my least?
No, we're going to get to the least. Okay. Go ahead, Champagne Poppy. What you got, dog?
Hey, I think I'm going to go with my guy, man, Tremaine, man. I think Edmonds, man, he's stepping up a lot. Listen, the boy, he was great. I always loved him since he got here. But his game is elevating just like Josh. He's getting better and better and better. And I think he's doing a great job of, tracking that ball down. I think he's doing a great job of covering when he needs to out of the backfield. And I think he's doing a really good job of filling those big gaps that we have on our whole. We need to figure out how to close that gap on our line because that line's not getting done. My boy Ed Oliver's just making me pissed every damn week.
No,
but, that's my guy.
Hey, you're going to put some respect on my guy right now.
You just about killed a guy in this game. You can't hit him so hard.
He is playing out of position due to knee
all year long, man.
This guy, if you like, because I'm not Eric Turner, okay? He is a film god, but I watch film too. And the double teams and they pay so much attention to Ed Oliver. It's insane. Like Ed Oliver is a damn good tackle. And when Charlotte Tulane,
I think he's a good tackle, man. But they need to shift him or something because he hasn't been producing as much as he should for his
It's not. He's playing Star's role. It's not going to be on the stat sheet, but it's what he's doing on the line. I mean, he's getting double teamed and in the run game, Ed Oliver has been really good in the run game, lately.
If he wasn't out there, we'd be in a hell of a lot worse situation. Let's put it that way. He doesn't he doesn't light up the stat line, but he definitely does a lot.
Who's your MVP?
When we did our predictions on the Friday show, one of the things I said was that I think John Brown's going to be key in this game. He's going to lead in receptions. He actually tied Diggs for 8 receptions in this game. He did have a big game. I'd say not quite as good as Diggs in this game, but certainly as many receptions, certainly as many big plays, definitely played a factor. But if I'm going one guy, Matt Milano. In coverage, Matt Milano made 2 or 3 huge breakups that were awesome. And I was just like, yes, this is Matt Milano's thing. Make them throw it, break it up. He's not going to get it there, right? Milano made a few key plays in this game, and I loved it. So I'll give Matt Milano the shout-out.
All right, so I'm going to go with somebody you probably – Deion Dawkins. Deion Dawkins, when he did with Yannick Ngakoue,
you made him.
He was incredible. Yeah. That dude on the left side of the line was holding it down all night, bro. Like,
he beat him once.
The Bills passed a ton. Yeah. And Deion Dawkins was on that shit. Like,
I think he got around him once, and that was it. He
played his ass off, dude. So Deion Dawkins definitely got my player of the game. Okay, Buns. Who is Buns? Ashley, we're going to start with you. Who was Buns? Give it to me.
All right, I'm only saying this because Anthony said I could, but the wind really threw this whole entire game off, and you have to wonder if it would have been different if the wind was dead. Now, I was obviously there, so I could feel this wind on my face even through the mask. It was cold. I'm not going to lie to you. We had like 5 layers on top. We had like 5 layers on the bottom. We were cold, and you could feel that wind. And even if you go back and you look at like the replays on some of them, like even where Josh overthrew stuff on Diggs, you could see the flag on the goalpost literally go the opposite way, and he overthrew him by almost 10 yards.
Yeah.
So in reality, you have to wonder if this game would have been different if the wind wouldn't have thrown, if Justin Tucker would have made those kicks. That's a completely different game. That's a completely different score. I mean, it only would have been 9, but
still
the momentum swing could thrown everything off.
Yeah, that ain't our fault. The wind was bad. Shit.
No, and I don't care about the fact that it was bad and that helped us out because the rain actually made us lose to the Chiefs earlier this season.
That's right.
But we'll get into that later.
Okay, great point. Anthony, go ahead, dog.
Our guy Eric, if he were here, who he would say right away, and he was in our chat that we have during the game.
You would go Tyler Bass.
And I already we both shut him down on that one because 99 out of 100 people polled before this season would tell you that the best kicker in the NFL is on that Baltimore Ravens team, Justin Tucker. All right. And he missed 2 of them from shorter than the 2 that Tyler Bass missed. So to me, if the best kicker in the world who plays on that team missed 2 kicks and your guy missed 2 kicks, your kicker is just as good as the best guy in the world. So I'll take that all day long. I will not say Tyler Bass. If I had to pick a player in particular, I hate to say it, but Gabriel Davis, it was not his best day. He dropped a few. He missed that deep pass that was to him that he probably could have made a play on, and he just didn't reel it in. Okay. Dropped the end zone pass. I mean, it wasn't a good day for Gabriel Davis for sure.
He's injured. I mean, notice he's been limping.
He started walking funny in this game.
Gabriel Davis
we were calling for it. My friends that I was watching with were like, they need to just get him off the field. Put McKenzie in there because something's up.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's all right this week. But definitely not his.
All right, Will. Who's Buns? Will, come on.
You know what, man? I was going to actually say Gabriel Davis too, but you want to know something? That was a hell of a point. Because thinking about those drops and those targets that he had that he missed. But I hate to get on a player, man, when they have a game that's a little bit off, and especially if they have an injury. He's been super solid for us the entire time. I honestly have been sitting here running through our whole roster, offense, defense, and the truth of the matter is, man, everybody played to the best of their ability. You know, Beasley, you could say, hey, well, he didn't have any targets. You know, they really threw to him, thank God, in a way. I didn't even want Beasley to get targeted because he's already hurt. I want him to be a decoy, if anything, because I'm hoping that he's better this week. And then if we get past that to the show, right? I want him 100%, you know, all weapons.
You know, Nate Geary,
name and, you know, at all.
They totally took him out of the game. Totally.
Yeah.
Nate Geary, who was here, and obviously Eric did the tape breakdown before our show, and that was one of the things they talked about, that Baltimore targeted Cole Beasley. He was who they centered their defense on. Like, we're not going to let this guy get the ball. And they didn't to their effect. But it wasn't enough because we also have guys like Brown and Diggs who are out there too. They definitely took successfully Beasley out of the game.
Well, and I'll add this to what you guys are saying. And I know you guys mentioned Gabriel Davis, but the fact that Gabriel Davis drew Marlon Humphrey, that is a testament to how good people think Gabriel Davis is in the slot. Think about it. Because when they were trips left, Gabriel Davis was the inside receiver, kind of did the Jake Kumaro on the post, right? The fact that they had Marlon Humphrey on him, that tells you a lot because Marlon Humphrey is their best cover corner. Marlon Humphrey is probably one of the best slot receivers if he plays outside, but when he's in the slot, he does a damn good job. So the fact that they had him on him, that was huge. That's a big ask for a rookie to go up against. So even though he didn't come up with plays, you know, now my buns is Devin Singletary, and that's my guy. Y'all already know that's my guy. Yeah. Too much flipping, bro.
He slipped like 3 times.
Playing in Buffalo for 2. Man, you can't get cleats in like
yourself to the foot.
Like, dude, come on, man. Hey, that is unacceptable. You ain't even that fast to be slipping.
Twice.
You're not that fast, bro.
He literally, his back foot kicked his front foot and he fell. And I was like, what?
I missed that. Being at the game, I totally didn't even see that.
Yeah. Shoot, when you watch it on TV, you seen that boy got some Scooby-Doo feet, dog. He ain't. It wasn't happening. It wasn't happening. Devin Singletary, you got to get it together. Wear some cleats, man. That's going to get your foot.
Left some yards out there for sure.
Left some yards out there because Dable set him up. Dable and Josh Allen set him up for success, and he let him down a little bit. He really did on some of those screen passes.
Hey, real quick. I want you to touch on this. What do you think about that? Because we talk about it all the time, and other people do too. Our running game. I mean, I know Mark is out, but what do you think about our running game going into these finals, like going into this final round?
I think, to be honest, we don't have a running game.
We don't.
Right.
We don't need it.
Exactly.
But I think we can. It just depends on how. Like when we go into power sets, we are not good running the ball out of power sets where Josh Allen is under center. I think they need to continue to disguise the pass with the spread looks, right? With the 10 personnel and so forth. Get Devin Singletary. He's better in space. Like if you're going to go to the power formations, you need to get him like on a stretch play where he can, extend the play out to the edge and then make a move and do his thing. But like having him going straight up through the hole, that does not work. We don't have Richie Incognito anymore.
That's what was going on in the Indy game, man. I was pissed watching that in the Indianapolis game. I'm like, why are y'all right up the gut with this guy?
Right. If we had Quentin Spain, who was a better pulling guard, I think it will open up some more areas for him. But the fact that, Mitch Morse to the second level, but Devin Singletary just not fast enough. Like he doesn't have that X factor ability. He lacks that. So like when you watch guys like Aaron Jones or you watch Cam Akers last weekend, you saw like that second gear come into play once they hit the line. You know what I'm saying? Devin Singletary doesn't have that. So he has to make his bones doing something else. So it's how they scheme it up. Terry, like you can look at a Geary looking like, well, when they send Devin Singletary into the flat for a pass, that's kind of like the Bills' run game, if you will.
Yes.
So, but they're gonna. Here's the deal, though. They're gonna have to use it this weekend against the Chiefs just as a decoy, just to keep them honest. Mm-hmm. Because the Chiefs.
But they already saw that in the first game because it was raining. We had to try to run and we couldn't.
Yeah,
I mean, granted, half our defense was missing, but so that's totally different.
The anchor of the line wasn't there. If Feliciano did not play, right? And they had some key injuries, right? So I think that now with Feliciano, you got that meanness back. You got Deion Dawkins playing his own, and then Darrell Williams is killing it at right tackle.
He has been, absolutely.
I don't want to see Brian Winter. Step it up a little bit more. If you ask me, I hate his name, okay? But I think they have to be a little diverse in their attack this weekend for sure.
This is my buddy Matt, and he's dead on with this, and this is exactly what I was going to say. We don't need the running game. We've been throwing the ball. It's been working. You have guys who can run the ball. Josh Allen can obviously run the ball. When they've left the lanes open, he's like, all right, I'm going to run it straight up the gut and get 10 yards. So, and just like he's saying here, who do they got either? They're going to depend on the pass. And I trust our defense against their passing game more than their defense against our passing game, because Chiefs defense is vulnerable. And I've been saying this the entire playoffs. Their defense is their weakness. That's what we can exploit. That's what we have to exploit. We can run the ball. We can. We just don't need to. And that's not our strength. So we're still going to pass it well more than we're ever going to throw.
You can't go into any game, man, and just say that you're going to just, pass the ball. You got to keep in mind. You got to go in there and make
so many plays.
But Allen is still good at mixing it up, right? They still leave the running back there. He'll call the run when he can, or he'll do the play action, which has been working phenomenal for us, by the way. Well, it's just been like, oh, yeah, okay, there's that guy. Doom.
Go ahead, Al.
And then once you get to the red zone, Dable throws in a surprise thing where, Josh Allen's going to shovel pass it to somebody receiver who's going to throw it to another receiver. So you never know what you're going to get. And that's what I'm excited to see on Sunday.
So let me remind you guys of the Super Bowl last year when the Chiefs were down 10 points. What were the Chiefs trying to do early in the game? They're trying to run the ball. That's not what they do. They're more of a spread it out, pass the ball. But the run is necessary because when you run early in the game like that, you set up the pass. This is a chess match. Like if you just put 4 or 5 wide receivers out there all the time, defense is going to figure your shit out. Like you're talking, this is the cream of the crop in terms of coaching staffs with these 4 teams, right? So you have to be able to run the ball. And Josh Allen can't be the one that's always doing it because we don't need Josh Allen running the ball all the time.
No.
We gotta have something.
But they show that they can use Singletary effectively in that role as either a decoy in terms of
run, right?
Or I know he can't trip over his own 2 feet. Shoot, even at the end of the game when they were trying to run out the clock, they were still passing the ball because he couldn't run. They didn't trust him to run, and God knows we didn't want TJ Yeldon touching it too much because that fumble ability scares everybody. But still, I think the run game is fine. I don't expect anything to change, in terms of who's going to be there. It's probably going to be Singletary and Yeldon again for this game, and it's going to be the majority of the carries will go to Singletary.
I think Singletary is going to have a pretty big game this week because we can run on this defense.
Yeah. You add anything to this defense. They suck. I'll tell you what about the Chiefs defense. There's obviously they got 1 pass rusher and 1 defender I'm worried about. Tyrann Mathieu balled out in this last game. He was all over the place. He was all over the ball. He made some great plays. I was like, all right, if there's somebody who stood out to me in this game, it's Tyrann Mathieu. But that's one guy. We've got 4 receivers who are able to get open and make space, and they've got no answer for that. No answer.
No, they don't. They don't.
I don't care if you rush every play. You can send your pass rush every play. One of those 4 guys is getting the ball for 10 yards. So go ahead.
And a secret weapon has got to be Isaiah McKenzie on the gadget plays because you got to remember that'll keep him honest too. I mean, you got the 4 receivers, but then Isaiah McKenzie could run out on the side on a jet sweep, and there it goes.
Yeah, and you're right, Ashley. And the Chiefs were using that last week on the Browns, the jet sweep action. Look, you know what I would love to see in this game? And Dawson Knox gets on my damn nerves, but I would love to see them use Dawson Knox like they use Kelsey with that shovel pass that goes through the middle, right? I would love to see that. I'd love to see that play.
They probably would do that. You know what?
I would just take it to him any kind of way I could. Hey, and just so y'all know, Andy Reid fired Sean McDermott's ass back in the day in Philly. So, hey, if the competitor that I know and Sean McDermott, he don't forget that shit. I mean, I know they cool and shit, but he remembers like, yo, you fired me, dog. I'm coming for that ass this weekend. I'm coming for it.
You brought up Isaiah McKenzie. My favorite play of this weekend, offensive play, obviously the Taron Johnson pick 6 was the defense. Offensive play was the Rams on a 2-point conversion did this trick play where they threw it to the receiver, and the running back and receiver were on the side, and the receiver caught it. The defense came toward him. He pitched it to the running back easy. 2-point conversion.
Right
I walked into the end zone. I was like, that had Brian Dable written all over it. Like, I'm like, that was a play call from him. So I do expect him to, you got to use every play in the playbook in this one, because in the end, we know Mahomes and that offense are going to be able to get theirs somehow, some way. And I said the same thing about Lamar, and we were able to shut him down. But Mahomes is the next step, and we all know it. And they've got a lot better weapons than anybody on Baltimore. So it starts and ends with that Pat Mahomes and that offense.
Let me ask you guys a question.
We just have to score more, and I think we can, because I trust our offense against their defense more than their defense against us.
Now, do y'all think Kenny Stills is going to play? So just remember, last year in the playoffs, Kenny Stills had a great game against Kansas City. Okay, we know that the Houston Texans went up like 24-0. Right? Y'all remember that? And everybody thought the Chiefs were done. Yeah. It's a wrap. And they came all the way back. Kenny Stills had a great game. What do you guys think about Kenny Stills potentially playing in this game?
Not happening. I don't know.
I think if Kenny Stills plays, that'd be great. But when you really look at it, man, do we need? We don't need it. If he plays, that's great. But I'll put our starting squad out there, the same players that's been out there every week after week, up against anybody right now. So if he plays, that's a great asset. The boy can ball. I'm sure he'll contribute and do his thing. But if he didn't, with our same set, we still get the job done.
Yes.
And I want to say he was more of an insurance policy in case Cole Beasley couldn't go. I think that's what that was about, because they weren't really sure, when he got injured a couple weeks ago, how that was going to go. Cole Beasley did say, this last week he was feeling better on Wednesday than he did the week prior on Wednesday. He was okay to go,
This is Brandon Beane doing his due diligence, and that's it. Stills has almost zero chance of being on the roster or playing. Absolute zero. Same thing with Freeman, right? Almost absolute zero chance.
That was bold, Anthony.
Well, it's not, though, because this is what Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane have shown that they do. Why are they on this practice squad? Because they are protection. If we need you, you're there. If somebody goes down, you're there. In the case of Stills, I think it's double duty by Beane. You know what he's saying? Come hang out with us for a few weeks and see if you want to be on this team next year. This is your chance. Come get to know these guys. Hang out with us. Be a part of this championship.
Hey, Anthony, knock it off. Knock it off.
That's Brandon Beane.
Dog. Hey, listen.
He's like, hey, you're a free agent. You want to be with us next year? Here's your chance.
Hey,
you know what we're all.
Hey, we have to like Kenny Stills is like Gentry from Wyoming, dog. Like Kenny Stills could play. Let me tell you why.
But he's not
a ball player, man. He can ball.
Let me state my case.
McDermott. But the end, what I was getting to is that McDermott and Beane have shown us all along that they do bring these guys on board, but they always stick with their guys first. Always. They have never 100%. Signed somebody and then said, you're replacing so-and-so on this roster. No, it's only when somebody goes down that they replace them. They have those guys queued up, ready to go.
I don't think nobody on here thinks that that's what the position is on that, man. I think that, you bring in Stills. Yeah, Beasley was a little beat up. Diggs was limping a little bit here and there. But I think they're in the building stage. They want ball players.
Let me tell you why. And I will. Hey, Champagne Poppy, I'm with you on that. Let me give you the other side of the story, okay? Let me tell you why you would put Kenny Stills in a game like this. Kenny still has playoff experience.
Sure.
He has big game potential. And just the fact, let me bring this up. He has game-breaking ability, right?
Exactly.
And that's something you cannot teach. I love Isaiah McKenzie. But Kenny Stills is a better wide receiver than Isaiah McKenzie from a route running point of view. He does a little bit more. He may not be as good on the gadget plays and so forth, but Kenny Stills is a more complete wide receiver. So the fact that you have him out there, it's embedded in the Chiefs. They know if Kenny Stills is out there, we got to watch because he did some shit to us last year. They know. I would, even if you don't even throw the guy the ball, have him run 9 routes. Just go. Take that.
Hey, what does that do for everybody else, man?
Get their ass tired.
I'm not arguing with that. I'm not arguing with his skill set, but again, I don't think
not just about loyalty.
McDermott and Brandon Beane have shown throughout their career this is what they do. They don't bring these guys in.
Hey, look,
I'll go a step further.
They don't do
this. I will go a step further and say that if they needed a wide receiver on the team or a position on the team, Jake Kumro, who they just signed, would be the next guy they call before it's Stills. Why? Because Jake Kumro knows this offense. Because they never wanted to get rid of Jake Kumro. They lost him to a signing to another team. It's not about skill at this point.
Hey, Anthony, man,
not touchdown Jesus.
It's about having the chemistry with Josh Allen. It's so much more than that. Stills is who they want to audition.
Anthony, you my dude, man. Hey, you my dude. We friends, but let me tell you something. You're not right on this one. Bringing Stills on this squad. He is not a decoy. The boy is too big of a monster, and especially with the year he had against KC last year, they know that if he steps one cleat on that field, that they need to target him. They need to worry about him, which is going to free up everybody else on our whole wideout core.
Even if you have the guy out there
going to eat beef
for 15 snaps.
It's a game changer. Yes, having him in cleats on the field is changing everything.
I'll say the same thing again. I'm glad that Coach Will and Coach Sterling and maybe even Coach Anthony think that's a good idea. But Coach Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane do not. That's not what they do.
Really? Because you know.
They have 3 years in the room. They have literally 3 years. 3 full years of what they have shown us.
I'll call you, Anthony. Bye.
This is not my opinion here. This is not my opinion.
I love it, Anthony.
It's an observation. It's an observation.
Hey, he got the pimp cup on that one.
It's an observation of what McDermott and Beane do. This is what they do. This is plain and simple what they do. It's not about what everybody else thinks is a good idea. This is what they've shown us they do year in and year out with these guys in this situation.
Hey, PJ Ty says Anthony's wife about to show up.
He's probably watching somewhere.
But hey, we got to realize that this is a great problem to have.
Yes.
We don't know what receivers we want to play because we have so many that are
talented.
Good. When was the last time we ever had this problem? Never.
David Nelson?
Right.
David Nelson.
So you would inactivate who to bring up Kenny Stills?
TJ Yeldon. I would sit his ass down real quick.
I told you she was
here.
Yeah.
Bye.
100%.
I activate TJ Yeldon and sit down Taiwan Jones. I don't need 4 running backs, bro.
Yeah, Taiwan Jones, I know they put him on special teams, but why?
I mean, yeah. I could activate a 7th wide receiver. Even if you play,
there's a dozen players you could sit down to bring him on.
Exactly. It's not a numbers thing.
There's a dozen players, man.
It's not a numbers thing. I think if whether he,
right.
Yeah, I would even play Freeman over TJ Yeldon. I would play.
I mean, I would. I'm not a TJ Yeldon guy. Don't get me wrong. But again, what we would do and what McDermott and Beane do are not the same thing.
I have
zero chance of winning. Zero.
I pounded the table for Devonta Freeman to come in over TJ Yeldon or even Antonio Williams because you saw, even though he's a rookie, you saw what he could do against Miami, who was supposedly a great defense. And then you have, you bring up Devonta Freeman, who's been such a consistent guy. I mean, I always pick him in fantasy because I know he's going to be a starter eventually because someone's going to get injured. And he's always consistent.
Yeah, he gives you something Devin Singletary doesn't, and that's burst.
Correct.
The man has burst. Devin Singletary don't got burst.
Right.
And I would love to diversify the running game any kind of way we can. Just look. It's now we're in the position of the season where I'm just going to try to mess with you. I'm pulling out. There's no stone unturned. I am going gusto. And if I got to put Kenny Stills' ass out there for 5 plays, I'm doing it. If I got to put Freeman in there to get 5 carries, hell, I'm doing it just because you have.
Guess what? I trust the coach who got us here. McDermott and Beane got us here.
Yeah, don't know what the thing.
They're not going to do that. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, and the only thing that I do doubt.
I would bet on those 2 games.
Listen to this. Look, the Sterling even watching this. I don't.
No,
I just make this shit up.
I've never watched the snap.
I do agree with Anthony in the aspect that they do pick the players that can do multiple things. So they can play special teams. They have another position.
Great point.
They like to keep those players active because God forbid somebody goes down, they have that insurance. So that's why they're probably going to keep Taiwan Jones in over maybe a Devonta Freeman or an Antonio Williams.
And you know what? Just because they pick it doesn't mean it's the best thing to do. I would not be. I would. The special teams is great all year. I don't need Taiwan Jones. I'm sorry. I don't
either. But I'm just saying that's the way
that's what they're gonna do. Oh, yeah. Just because that's what they do doesn't mean it's always the right thing to do. Like
we're good on special teams for a reason.
Either
they prioritize special teams, and our special teams has been phenomenal this year. They pay guys like Taiwan Jones and Tyler
Medicaid. Talk about Johnson. Those guys have been
everybody. It's the whole team.
Like it's. I'm just saying. Like this
the battle of field position proved to be very important, as we saw in the Colts game.
It drives me crazy.
Probably more than any team in the NFL. We have prioritized special teams and improving on special teams, and it's worked well for us. Super chat. Hey, what's up,
Angus Khan? Oh, I do love that sunburst guitar, by the way. I've mentioned that on the show, but thank you for watching the show. He says, I'm just glad Dable is sticking around. Yes. I don't think I would say that a few months ago.
Correct.
Well, I'm gonna let who wants to take that one?
I'll just say that the one thing about Daboll, like his play calling or not, I mean, we've certainly 2 years ago, I was on the fire this guy train. Trust me, I will admit that right here, right now. I said, this guy's an idiot.
I bet I can search it right now and find it.
Doesn't know how to use the weapons he's got, right? But I'm telling you, right now, the thing about Daboll is his relationship with Josh Allen. And that is what matters above anything else for this team right now. He has a great relationship with Josh. They have a great offense going. Does he make weird play calls here and there and like, what are you doing type things? Yes, occasionally. Does he get too creative at times? Yes, occasionally. But every Bills fan should be happy that he's sticking around because Daboll means Josh Allen is going to continue with his consistency, have that consistency, and hopefully improve.
Okay, now you're right. You're right, and I think we're all happy. We mentioned this earlier in the show. We're all happy that Dable's sticking around. Yeah. I wasn't a fan of firing Dable though, because when you go back and look at the film, the second year, third year, or first 2 years or whatever he was here, people were always open. It was just Josh Allen wasn't developed enough to kind of recognize the offense or recognize what was happening on pre-snap, and Josh Allen was fully learning how to play the game. So, he's been calling bomb plays, right? He's been calling it. It just hasn't been clicking. And now, now you have a full array of weapons and it's complete. Now you're seeing the benefits of going through those growing pains. So I'm a big fan of Dable. YouTube user says, hell yeah, F special team coverage. We're not saying that. We ain't saying that.
We did not say that.
I'm saying you can do better with Taiwan Jones. That's all I'm saying. Bills Cards 86 says, start
God. Not the Christian Wade train again.
He's ineligible, right? He's the extra man on the practice squad.
I love that guy, though. I love him.
Christian Wade doesn't even know where the end zone is half the time. So, I like the guy.
When we were struggling last year and we didn't have Zach Moss, he was the guy that we wanted to see because he's like, well, he was a rugby player, so he knows how to tackle, he knows how to find the holes, and he knows how to get down the field. So that's what everybody's mindset was at because Devin Singletary was fumbling so much. We're like, why can't we start this guy? Like, why not?
Listen, y'all sound like the kids. Y'all remember going to summer camp? Y'all remember going to summer camp and we'll say, guys, girl, that there ain't no hotties there, right? But you put the goggles on, and after a week or two, you're like, damn.
Oh my God.
We'd be like, yo,
let's go.
Wait, you be saying stuff like, he's only got 2 noses. That's not bad.
Yeah. Hey, you're coming down there with the tablet, like, damn.
It's a testament to how far this team has come since last year.
I don't know what you're trying to say about this. You keep posting it. It's not going to be any more true. It's still completely false. Even if the Bills lose this game to your Chiefs, that's fine. We're still a damn good team, but we're going to beat you. So come talk to us after Sunday, all right? See you Sunday night after the game.
Get all that smoke.
Until then, you better be careful.
All right, so as we're in the last phase of the show, thoughts on the Chiefs? Like, what are you guys' initial thoughts on the Chiefs? And realistically, what do you think the Bills need to do to win this game? So we'll start with you, Champagne Poppy. We'll go with you, Ashley, and we'll end with you, Anthony.
Mm-hmm. I tell you what, man, my thing with the Bills winning this game is really simple, to be quite honest. And I'm taking Mahomes out of the equation because I don't care if he's on the field or not.
Okay.
We need to come out and punch these boys right in the mouth, meaning we need to come out using our weapons blazing. I don't want to play games trying to run up the middle, do all this stuff just over and over. No 3 and outs because we shouldn't even have 3 and outs in this game against this defense. We got way too many weapons at receiver. Our backfield, we already know it's not the best, but it is good enough to run against this defense. We get Singletary out in some space. I don't want to run enough, power runs, put him out in some space. man. Get him on some screens, like get him in some space. Let him pick his holes from the outside. We got the weapons to draw everybody back. That's going to create that outside for him. Give him 10, 15 yards to carry. I feel that. So, yeah, that's my thing, man. Come out guns blazing. Get the wideouts active early. Use that tight end over the middle. Exploit their defense because that's their weakness. As far as them on offense, I'm not so worried, man. Whether Mahomes is out there or not, our defense is playing pretty solid football. I think that they will get some point, but I do not think that they have a chance of beating us if we come out guns blazing.
All right. Miss Petty?
All right. Well, I do agree with Will. I definitely want to see them put pedal to the metal right out of the gate. They didn't look super impressive against the Browns, and I think that's a testament to where Patrick Mahomes is with, his injuries. Once your toe is messed up, that messes up all the rest of your mechanics. So you're completely off. That alters the way you stand, the way you throw the ball, and where that ball goes. So I don't completely trust that Patrick Mahomes is going to look like the quarterback that he typically is, especially with that extra injury he got later on where he looked dazed and confused, and he's getting up. He has no balance. But like I said, I wasn't impressed with them against the Browns. Last time the Bills played Patrick Mahomes, they held him to 25 yards passing, which wasn't necessarily the best because it was raining and they ran all over us. But to be honest, I think the defense being back will be able to combat that. And when we are on defense, when the Bills are on defense, we need to do something to create these turnovers, just like we did last week and just like we did the week before. Once we create those turnovers, that turns into points for this team, and those points end up winning us the game. So, and my last point, just let the haters and the doubters fuel you.
Yes.
You see Nick Wright still talking shit. You still see Darren Rovell. He got doused in freaking Frank's hot sauce and blue cheese today. I mean, you see all these guys out here still. Colin Cowherd still saying he would pick freaking Baker Mayfield over Josh Allen. I don't know what he's smoking. I'm really not sure. But let them fuel you because you've clearly done it earlier this season. You watch Twitter. All those players watch Twitter. They do.
Right.
So let them or Juju dancing on your logo.
Playing on repeat in the locker room. Yeah.
Exactly.
Corvette.
Corvette. And look at where that Corvette got you. A nice seat on your couch to watch the rest of the playoffs.
Exactly.
Let them fuel you guys this week.
They want to see your shirt.
Oh, and I do want to shout out 26 shirts because this was a great shirt.
Yeah.
Buffalo.
I love that one.
So you got the broken jet. You've got the broken little toy Patriot, and you've got the hole in the cotton dolphin. Because
playing on the Grinch, which is the best and only Christmas story people should watch.
Exactly. The play on Dr. Seuss. You gotta love it.
Listen, there's times where people, come up with brilliant Twitter or YouTube names. Let's look at down here. Joel Osteen and Creflo Dollar, brother. This man took the time.
Solid.
You got two polar opposite preachers. You got Joel Osteen, who is I believe in you. You're gonna do great things. And Creflo Dollar's like, hey, name it and claim it. Where's my money?
He said 48-year-old Jerry, get the hell out of here if you have not watched this season.
Yeah. No.
But
it's funny. Good name. Love it.
That's spectacular. I had to point that out. Anthony, go ahead.
Yeah, so this breakdown is interesting because this is now the only matchup so far in the postseason that we've actually talked about during the season because we played the Chiefs during the season. Unfortunately, as you've all alluded to, we were very much a hurt team at that time. Josh Allen was hurt. John Feliciano was out. Matt Milano was out. Trey White was hurt. All these guys were down. Our defense was decimated. We got our ass kicked, to put it frank, right? They ran all over us. They beat us.
Right.
They did what they had to do. That is not going to be the story in this game. And I think it starts with the coin toss. Why? Because 99,000 times out of 100, 99,999 times out of 100,000, Sean McDermott will defer every single time. Not this game. You take that goddamn ball, you drive down the goddamn field, you score a goddamn touchdown, and you put them on their backs. Period. That is the key to this game. You start out strong. You have to take it. You drive down. You don't defer. Don't tell me, we want this second half bullshit. Not against this team. You can't do it. You have got to score and score often and show that defense what you're made of on offense. Because like Will said, I think our defense, it's Pat Mahomes. First of all, they have Travis Kelce. They've got the speediest wide receiver in the game in Tyreek Hill. Those guys are going to get theirs. You're not going to be able to cover them every play because they're two of the best to play at their position. Will our defense completely shut down this offense? No, I think everybody in the world would be shocked if that happens because of the guys they have. But can our defense stop them in terms of making them score every drive, stopping them from scoring every drive while we continue to push on offense and score? Yes, I think that is absolutely going to happen. And shout out to my sister, who was the fan you were calling out earlier. She is actually a 49ers fan, but she also cheers for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, my God.
She picked her teams randomly, literally randomly when we were, growing up. She's always cheering for them. So she told me this week she's been rooting for the Bills with me all the time, but she's like, not this week. I'm going with the Chiefs. So there are Chiefs fans out there hating on us. And for good reason. They could come into this game confident, too. This is the first game. Those Ravens fans who came in confident were being way too cocky, and I called them out for it. Like, you guys don't know what you're getting into. You think Josh Allen's still the Josh Allen of 2 years ago. Like, you haven't watched the games this year, clearly. Kansas City has reason to be confident. They're the defending champions. They've won their division. They've won everything that's in front of them. They feel like they're kings of the world, rightfully so, but they're about to get knocked on their asses by this team, and I truly believe that. It's not going to be a blowout, but you better believe that Buffalo is the team that is built to beat this Kansas City team. We can score better, if not just as much as they can, and our defense can hold them, and that's all it takes.
Thank you for highlighting this comment because I wanted to make a comment on it. I don't ever wish injury on a player. I want to play the best Chiefs team there is. I want Mahomes in there. So I just wanted to comment on that.
I want Mahomes to be 100% too. 100%. I think the toe is going to affect him more than the concussion in the end of things when it comes to throwing the ball. But the thing is, he was perfectly healthy before this, and the last 6 games he played in, he did not look impressive. I've said it every single week on this show. Mahomes and that team found a way to win games, and in the end of the day, in the postseason especially, that's all that matters. Doesn't matter if you play your worst game on everything and you get lucky and you win by 1 point. Guess what? You won. You're going to the Super Bowl. So Kansas City has found a way to do that, but Pat Mahomes has not been impressive these last 6 games. And I don't care what anybody says. Watch the games. We live in Denver, so we've gotten a lot of the Kansas City games this year. I've seen a lot of them on TV. And let me tell you, they are not the team that they were last year. They are not this dominant offense. Pat Mahomes has looked like something is wrong with him all year. I don't know. Maybe at the end of the season they will say, oh, he's had turf toe all year and now he aggravated it. I don't know. But he's not the same player he is. He's still able to make plays. He's still dynamic. He's still the biggest threat on the field. And I hope he's 100% for this game because I want to beat him and show them that we are the better team. I know that in the preseason, us guys on the Hoof all said that was a key game that we wanted these Bills to win. But then when it came to that game, we were all so disappointed that it wasn't going to be 100% them versus 100% us. We want that now. Yep. To be the man, you've got to beat the man. And right now, the Kansas City Chiefs are the man. But you better watch out, brother, because Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills are coming to town.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey, calm down, man. You all right?
To be the man, you've got to beat the man.
I felt like I was ready to run up the steps and flex my muscles and stuff.
Let's go, baby.
Exactly.
And what this team is playing, the Bills are playing from the position they want to be in. Underdog, underrated, nobody giving them a chance. Everybody's saying the Chiefs are the best team and the Chiefs are always going to beat them. From week 1, they've been saying that, the Bills might make the playoffs, but they can't compete with the Chiefs. Guess what? Now it's time to show you we can compete with this team.
No, and you got all 3 of you guys make great points. I don't know what it's going to look like. I am very intrigued to see what game plan, what approach the Bills, what they come out in. I think they're going to be aggressive whether they get the ball first or not. I'm telling you, I will say this. Josh Allen always rises to the occasion. Yes. Think about it. He will have so much to prove. He may come out a little fidgety, but I guarantee you 2nd, 3rd, and 4th quarter, it's on. It is freaking on. That guy, he's going to ball out. Stephon Diggs, look, listen, y'all already know these guys are going to be hyped up. They're going to be hyped because nobody, if you talk about a perfect storybook ending, this is it. This is it. It doesn't get much better than this. There's Ashley, like you mentioned, there's so many storylines. Even if we were to get to the Super Bowl, But this week, there are so many things to look at, so many things to be excited about. Mm-hmm. And this Bills team has a chance, an opportunity to do something that we haven't seen in a long time. I mean, go back and look at the Panthers from 2015 and what Sean McDermott and those guys were able to do. This is very reminiscent of that. And you have veteran guys in this locker room that are going to get everybody in the right mindset. They got
Sean McDermott has been planning for this from the preseason, saying, look, this is the Chiefs. This is the team you got to beat. This is the team you got to try and get better than because they won it all. They were able to do it. Now let's show them we can do it too.
And even if we didn't win, I would not be mad. I would not be mad at all. I would be so proud to be a Bills fan because I'm excited about our future.
That's important to say.
What we're going to do. So, like, listen, if the Bills were to lose, which I hope not, and I don't think they're going to lose, but if they were to lose, man, hold your freaking head up because it's a longevity game. Josh Allen will win a Super Bowl. I'm telling you that right now. In the next 2 years, Josh Allen will win the Super Bowl. You heard it here.
Right.
It's gonna happen.
Sure.
All the haters on my timeline on Facebook, all the haters who always show up on all my Bills posts this year and say, you're posting this now, not when they've won the division, not when they did this. Oh, you're posting this now. Oh, the Bills are going to lose the first game of the playoffs. Oh, classic Bills. All those guys suddenly disappeared on all my Bills posts on Facebook. Suddenly they're not saying a word. Suddenly they don't see anything anymore, or they see it and they're just like, oh, I'm going to let that go. Why? Because the Bills have arrived. If anybody on planet Earth now says the Bills suck or the Bills aren't any good or the Bills are the same old Bills, they're stupid, plain and simple. You're stupid, and we don't even have to acknowledge you because you have no idea what you're talking about at this point. So that's it. If the Bills lose this game, they've still had a hell of a season.
When you look at the history of Buffalo Bills, man, Anthony, the history of the Buffalo Bills created all those monsters. The Buffalo Bills have let fans down ever since Dre and them were here, man, to be quite honest, and that's a big problem. Yeah. You know, so that's when you get those mentalities. And you get other people who rightfully should say those things. It's the truth. Buffalo let us all down for years. But this is a new day. We have new owners. We have new players. We have owners that are buying the players that we need to compete in this league. Not only to compete, they're buying these players to win, man. I mean, they are bringing these boys in with the winning mentality. So all the haters and anybody who's ever gotten down on the Bills, they can laugh about those 4 Super Bowls all they want. Because we are about to eat for the next decade with what we put together right now.
Yeah.
All right. So, listen, it's been real. Look,
what a show!
What a freaking show! Hey,
it was a great show, man. Hey, I enjoyed it. It was a great show.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. This has been great.
No, I got a bone to pick. Okay, y'all ready for this? Let's get you two down there.
Let's get it.
I got a bone to pick. Let me know when y'all want this, okay?
Sterling, where were you when you this year last year, man?
Drop it like it's hot, big dog. Let's
I'm
get
about to drop it like it's real hot.
Let me
if you want to put it in the goblet right now,
let me set you up first.
Okay. No, not the goblet.
Let me set you up first.
Hey,
Will and I.
It is what it is. It is what it is, man.
There it is.
Will and I met last year at the playoff game when we were playing Houston. Stevie Johnson and his crew came here to watch the game with the Colorado Bills backers. It was amazing. I went to all the events. I got to hang out with Stevie and his crew. I got to hang out with Will. We got to know each other. We talked podcasting. It was awesome. And Will and I have maintained contact since then. But where was Sterling's ass during all that? Yeah. He didn't even show up for any of the events.
I was in Houston watching the game, baby.
Yeah. So you were at the game, but you missed out on that.
You talking about the events in Denver?
Huh? What?
What events are you talking about?
He talking about when y'all came out here for the Bills back in Denver. Yeah, I was in Houston watching game.
No, man. Hey, you.
No, I don't want to hear y'all about to get all this.
So that means I know where Sterling was going.
Yeah, because look, y'all have Anthony on all the damn time, all the time.
Oh, you're mad you didn't come on our show.
I just be out here like, yo, like.
I knew he was going with this because he gave me shit the last time.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a regular, dog.
I never met you, man. That's what it was. Yo, I met Anthony. I was the one I told Fredo. I told him to get him on because actually we were short a guy that week. And I was like, you know, my dude from Denver, let's get him on. This will be perfect, you know. But, you know, now that you know, talked about me, Champagne Poppy, talked about my goblet, you know what? From now on, it is what it is. It is what it is. Next time you can get on the pod, dog.
We might just have to start doing this every week. I
know,
we
right?
got a good vibe.
We might just have to do it. We might just have to.
It's great chemistry. But, hey, these guys are part of the Why So Serious pod. They do a damn good job. Their content is A++. Okay, you get it from all angles, man, and we really appreciate what you guys do, seriously, and the work that you guys put in, and the vibes that you guys put out in Bills Mafia. It's appreciated, and I like, seriously, this is so sincere from Anthony to myself to Eric, who's sick tonight. Like, we really respect what you guys do, and we appreciate y'all. Like, there is no animosity, there's no beef, there's no pot wars, nothing like that. Like, yo, we are a family, and we really appreciate what you guys do. So before we even get off the show tonight, man, can you guys talk about what you're doing and how fans can follow you and what's going on?
All right. So, oh, shoot. Well, we've changed our Twitter so many times. I couldn't even tell you what it is at this point. I believe it's at Why So Serious Pod. Currently, we've had to change it a couple of times because of, I don't know, there was another podcast with Why So Serious, but they do like the movie aspect of it. So you can find us there. We're going to start to bring out a little more next week. You know, I don't know that we're doing a show this week. Our guy also had a family emergency going on. Okay. So, you know, this was a good vibe that we got going this week. Hopefully we can do this again in the future. It's been a blast. Thank you guys so much for having us on last minute. We definitely appreciated it.
You want to know something, man? Our podcast, the good thing about doing podcasts as a whole, and not just our podcast, you know, we started that thing, you know, with Stevie Johnson, you know, Donald Jones, of course, is our guy too. You know, myself, Michael Lafredo, you know, and of course, Ashley. The thing is, you know, when you talk about podcasts, you know, some podcasts do have a little animosity here and there, man. We're Bills family, man. And, you know, we all come together, whatever products we can bring to the table, you know, whether it be some of my friends, Emos, Lee Evans, whoever the guys are, you know, we come together as a group. And collectively, that's what you want to do as podcasters, you know, because you can bring your fans different perspectives from different parts of the world. You know, we're right here in Buffalo. You guys are in Denver, but huge Buffalo fans, obviously. So, you know, you want to be able to integrate those things and make a better show for everybody.
Absolutely, man. And you're right. You know, some places is not this cool. Like this is not just a show, guys. This is really good chemistry. And we definitely want to have you guys on. And look, if y'all don't have me on your podcast, bro.
Hey. We got you, man. Hey, look, man, you already on there, man.
Hey, Biggie Scooby coming in with the late super chat here. It doesn't show up. I don't know if you had a comment, Biggie Scooby, but if you want to say something, we'll put it up before we kick off here. But thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it. Show the love, man. We love it.
Man, we appreciate that. We appreciate that for sure, man.
Yo, Biggie said he wants to watch this show year round.
Yeah, you should.
Here we go. There he is.
He's around. Yeah, we're trying to
Biggie Scooby. We do it.
And our premise behind this show is we kind of want to give something different, more of an entertainment factor. Just kind of, the world is so serious, right? Yeah. It's so serious,
especially lately.
Right. Our goal is to like bring laughter and comedy, but also give you guys like in-depth personalities and analysis as well. So we try to kind of blend it all together, kind of be very balanced. So
the funniest thing for me is anybody who's met me in real life knows that what you see on the show is exactly who I am in real life. This is not like Anthony on the podcast. This is Anthony. Like if I'm
any dude that wears that Buffalo Bills suit, hey man, you gotta love that guy.
We have plans to go out there this year. Like I'm just looking forward to that trip.
Oh man! So next year,
we had a concert and everything planned for that out there.
We got you covered. Seriously, we're gonna have we are gonna have so much fun. Y'all don't even know. Like
I can't wait.
It's gonna be killer. It's gonna be killer.
Let's do it.
But anyway, man, we're gonna sign off here. I know some of you guys are gonna want to get up and watch Inauguration Day. Okay, whichever side of the spectrum you're on, is still America's Day. You know, by all means, do so. Educate yourselves. But you know. We just want to say, man, that it's all good here, and we are excited about what the Bills are doing and where they're going, not just this week or the next 2 weeks, but the future of the Bills. And everybody, you should be excited. I know this season has been so special for us amidst everything that's been going on in our world. We've kind of been able to hone in on the Bills and really like ride the wave, right? So it's been amazing. And you know what? One of the cool things about all this is sharing this stuff with you guys. And we appreciate what you guys do. So we're going to sign off here. We're going to say go Bills, and we out of here.
Go Bills, baby.
Go Bills.
There it is. Let's go, boss.